to the
We're
Guys
live.
Who
We're live.
Cry podcast.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
We're back. We've had a couple good episodes this season.
Look, if we say we're back, like as if we took a hiatus. This is the fourth episode. Fifth episode.
Fifth. We're
Yes.
flying through them.
Yes.
You guys can hear the other voice.
Kari, welcome.
Welcome, Kari. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Hi.
So a little
Thanks
back.
for inviting me. I'm the other voice.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. So Kari and I went to high school together. We really didn't run in the same circles. And like, to be honest, we really didn't really know too much about each other, except like social media. I know that you've been doing massage therapy and yoga, and then some stuff happened to you in the last year. And then, you know, you posted something about mental health awareness. And I was like, that is a perfect opportunity to bring her on and like talk about that a little bit more
Yes.
in depth.
But I do want to go back to high school for a second because
no.
I assume
Oh no.
Kari was in the
we're
cool
both, like,
crowd
cool.
and Reuben was in the comic book crowd, as he still is today. I'm just kidding you. I'm just kidding.
I don't know if I would consider myself in the cool crowd.
Okay.
So,
But I want to know
wouldn't
about
go that
this. Is
far.
interesting. What clique did you hang out with? Did you hang out in a clique? What were they, like lacrosse players?
No,
Were they musicians?
actually. I mean,
technically, I was a lacrosse player.
Were you a lacrosse player?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have
I
been
was
a terrible
on
lacrosse player.
on the lax team. And, but that's
lax boys. I was a soccer player.
yeah.
Oh, so you guys were both jocks. Okay, nice.
I was not a jock.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, you know.
The aforementioned weight loss.
No, but this is it's interesting going back to high school because you get to know somebody a little bit better in terms of where they come from, you know. And you guys went to Hodgson,
Just Hodson.
which is a trade school.
Hodson, the G is silent.
Yeah.
Oh, the G. No one's ever said that to me before.
I
didn't
just
know.
said it to you before we went
Oh, well,
live.
yeah. But okay. He didn't say the G was silent. Kari said the G was silent. I appreciate that, Kari. Reuben, no thanks to you.
Yeah, so it's a trade school. I've actually
you.
been back a few times since to do some like guest lectures and stuff. Nothing's changed.
Wow.
Yeah, nothing really too much has changed.
Kari, you should do that. I mean, you have a
Not been
phenomenal
back
story.
at all.
Yeah, I don't know. High school is just a weird. I kind of want to forget about high school.
Have you?
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead, Kari.
high school was high school. I didn't know what I wanted in high school, so it was all, you know,
Yeah, I feel like none of us.
we're
know
just
what we
like
want in
getting
high
through
school.
it really at
Right.
that time.
See, I feel like I kind of knew what I wanted. I went to Hodson to do culinary arts, and I'm still doing it today.
See,
So,
that's the difference. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
know,
yeah, it's funny because like,
which
What?
I always thought was cool.
yeah. So what shop were you in?
So I went to Hudson to do computer-aided design and do like architecture and everything. And then my family moved to Maryland and I went to a semester of school in Rising Sun. And I was like, I don't want to be a freshman again. And I felt new all over again. So I made my parents basically get me back into Hudson, but they wouldn't accept me back into computer-aided design and they would only accept me into environmental technology. So I went into there. And hung out in the greenhouse for the next 3 years.
That's right, because we did like a collab.
So like at the time,
Right. Because didn't you
Yes.
guys farm raise like
Yeah.
tilapia or something like that?
we did. I forgot about that.
I
We
remember
did
that.
have farm raised, house raised tilapia.
Wow.
Hold on, let me find my MacBook charger. My phone, my computer's about to die.
No, you're fine. Go ahead. Wow.
I
That sounds really good.
totally forgot about that. And you know what I think about all the time is like at the time I really didn't care about environmental technology and all that stuff, but
Well,
now I actually am interested in it. And now
it's so funny because I think out of like the people who were in culinary arts, I would say maybe 10% of the people who actually pick culinary arts do it as a career. Like, I don't know anybody
yeah, and
who went
you
to
ended up actually doing it.
Like, I don't know many, I appreciate that. Yeah. Like, I don't know many people who go to Hodson for a certain shop that actually end up doing that after high school. I mean, I'm sure it's more than normal and it helps a lot of students, but I was kind of like, oh man, there's not really too many students that really, like I know, especially in culinary arts, I think I'm like
Follow
one of like
through.
3 students that actually ended up doing it as a career.
And I think that goes to that point actually also
Yeah.
of reducing the stigma of career change, because people do it. I think people think that you're not supposed to. You're supposed to like pick one job and keep it the whole life. But like realizing even if you're 40, 50, 60, at any point you can get different training, go pursue your passion. And I think that's always a good thing to
go do anything you want at whatever time.
Now, you said you are a massage therapist. When did that come about? When did you get that training and certification? What were you doing before that?
So after high school, I tried going to college, but again, I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I quickly left and started working in the restaurant industry. And then that's how I got to the beach. So then I got introduced to yoga, and I did my yoga teacher training, and then realized like I don't want to work in the like I was a bartender and I didn't want to do that forever. And then decided to go further like into the health and wellness world and do the massage therapy. And then I've been doing that for like 3 years now, including the yoga. So a little bit of everything.
Is there a specific style of massage therapy you do? What's it like Reiki and all that stuff, right? Am I right? That one?
So good words there. Reiki. Yeah, that's a word.
I said it right.
Reiki is a form. Yeah. Reiki is actually a form of like energy work. Or subtle body work.
Okay.
Pat yourself on the back there. But I actually am certified in Reiki as well. That's like a thing that you go get like later if you want to work in that.
I have not seen that advertised in any of the massage parlors I've been to, but maybe I'm going to the wrong ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if it's called a massage parlor, that's probably your first.
Oh, no
That's
wonder
very
they.
accurate, Kari. Good.
No wonder they don't seem as
job.
professional. I guess. Interesting.
Very good job. Good deduction.
Red flag. Yeah.
Really funny. Are you doing massage therapy now?
So I'm having like a journey with it right now because I actually really do love being a massage therapist. It's like this really cool like language you can almost speak in without having to talk. But I can do it. So like with the injury and recovery and everything, I'm able to do it. So I've slowly started working on a few clients, but I'm not like mentally. I've been talking to my therapist about this in a space to just take on work again. So I'm only working with people that are cool, like if I need to reschedule or cancel or just can do what I need. So I'm not taking on like clients yet, but
got it.
I'm getting there.
And going back to the injury you referenced, since our audience probably doesn't know that, and I'll just briefly say you were in a injury related to rock climbing about a year ago, and have had this really amazing journey since then of physical recovery, mental health recovery. And do you want to share a little bit about what you've learned from a physical recovery perspective, whether or not you've taken for granted the physical abilities you had before, or have you learned more through this journey about mental health and caring for yourself mentally?
Well, I feel like I could say a lot of things about that. But I mean, so physically, obviously, I've just learned a ton because I was already a huge anatomy nerd and I already did all that kind of stuff. So just with the recovery and everything, I've learned a ton, and I never knew anything about spinal cord injuries before, and I sure do know about them now. And that's been interesting, like learning more about just like the disabled world and just what they live with and what they have to deal with day to day, and all these things that I've been living with and I never even noticed before. So that was definitely really interesting and life-changing, and every day it's something different. And then mentally too, it's just been, I knew right away like I wanted to start therapy. I knew that would be important. I didn't always know exactly what I wanted to start it for or where I was going, but I knew, my whole life just changed. So obviously I need support around that. And that's been a journey too. Like,
had you gone to therapy, psychological, I should say behavioral therapy or cognitive therapy before the accident?
Yeah.
Okay, you had.
No? Yes. So I did BetterHelp, like the talk and I did it over the phone. So I would talk to the therapist over the phone, and that was okay. I think it's like with everything in life, you kind of have to find the right person that you vibe with. It's like you might not find the right workout class right away or the right recipe right away, but if you keep searching, you'll find the right therapist. And I think that has a lot to do with it. So finding the right person was really helpful, and I did, and I've been working with her for like a year now.
It's good you already
learned a lot, and I actually feel like I know more now.
That's good. Well, I was going to say it's good that you kind of already had experience with therapy before that, because I always feel like when something happens that's of significance or it's affecting my mental health, I'm like, all right, let me get to therapy right away because I have a habit of that. And some people don't. It takes a long time or a lot of maybe bad things to happen for like, okay, I'll start going to therapy. So it's good that you had that as a tool already in your pocket to deal with this, tragic, injury that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. That's why I just say all the time, I'm not like different than anyone. I'm just lucky that I knew all this stuff going into it. Like, and I mean, utilizing the tools, but
yes. Just real quick. And then if you want to share
what they were, at least
when you just mentioned slightly before that about kind of getting into this world of having a disability that was, that was caused by an injury, do you feel like you saw certain stigmas that, or people looked at you or viewed you differently after that, and you automatically could be able to empathize with people who all have maybe lived in that world their entire lives?
100%. Just yes to all of that. Like, you're automatically looked at as different, and it's not even like, I mean, this is something I'm struggling even with now, is like getting back out into like social circles and stuff. And it's not because people are looking at you because they're judging you. It's just anyone, the human mind is just curious. They're going to look at, like, if you look different, they're going to look at you. It's just the way it is. But they do look at you differently. And especially when I first was coming out of recovery and I was working all with these people that didn't know me, and they're like, be careful with this and make sure you do that. And I'm like, you don't even know me. Like, you don't know my capabilities. You don't know anything about me. And it was just a lot of like not thinking that I could get as far as I'm getting. I don't know. Right.
What about now? I saw you get up. Are you able to walk now through all your physical therapy and anything? Do you have any assistant or wheelchair or anything that helps? Just curious.
So it's really weird. So each spinal cord injury is different. And I think that's like the biggest thing I learned. Like, there's not one spinal cord injury description. Every single person is different. It's based off of who you are, how healthy you are, how old you are, like all that stuff. So for me, luckily I can walk. I can use both my legs. Mostly my left leg is affected. So I do use a walker, like as support getting around. The wheelchair, I got really annoyed with it, honestly, the past few weeks, and I just gave up on using it. And I was like, I'm over this. So I don't use it too often. If there's like a long distance or something that I have to do, I would go in the wheelchair. But pretty much just the walker now. But it's crazy. Like, I can get on and off the floor. I'm stronger now than I was before. So
that's great. So crazy. I was going to say, I saw, because I've tried to do yoga before, an emphasis on try. Like, I think all that matters. I was shaking like crazy. But then like I look at your Instagram and I was like, yo, she's already doing yoga again. Like, how soon? I mean, that's insane. Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, I can barely do it now.
So to me, I know I can still do stuff that people like wouldn't be able to do for years. It's crazy. But I also was doing this stuff for 8 years almost like prior. So that for my body is normal. Like,
is there a lot of muscle memory?
But it is pretty cool and pretty crazy to see that come back. Yeah, it's a lot of muscle memory. Like, I know, like, my body is used to doing this, used to being like this. So it's crazy.
That is wild. Like, I guess it's kind of like that thing of when you stop working out for a while and then you go back and like some of those muscles kind of come back. That's weird. That's awesome. That's crazy. Yeah, I
like
was
they might not be
blown
as
away.
strong, but they like know what to do. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, and plus, like again, I've been doing yoga for 8 years, so I could like do it in my sleep. So that stuff, that's like I don't know, like you're a chef, like you can cook something in your sleep without having to think about it. I can do a handstand without having to think about it. Like
that's a good description. Yeah.
You know,
and you can still teach, right?
Practice.
And you're still teaching?
Oh yeah, like I started teaching when I moved back to. So I was staying with my sister while I was recovering for the first couple months, and that was hard, like mentally being like alone and not being in my community, but it actually turned out being really good, like having that time to myself. So anyway, I moved to the beach in November and started teaching right away in the studio, and it's been great. Like I've just been able to teach like normal, and like everyone's like, wow, like I mean everything has changed, but you teach the same, like you're still Kari, like classes are still. I think people were nervous, but
it's funny. You mentioned
again, I've been doing it for so long that
I was going to say, you mentioned community.
Go ahead.
You mentioned community, and the way I found out about what had happened to you was because of Matt Kern. Shout out to Matt Kern, executive chef down at One Coastal, and he had posted your what's that?
The story?
No, the link.
Like GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. Yes, that's what it was. And I was like, hold on, I know that name. And then I clicked it, and I was like, whoa. So it's funny, like how much did they kind of rally around you and like help you through like the recovery and everything?
Oh my God. I could cry thinking about it. I don't deserve, like, I do deserve it because we all deserve it. But like, I don't know. I just can't even, I have no words because the yoga community, like the heirloom community that I worked at, and just everyone surrounding that, all my friends that I had met at the beach, so many people like supported me and sent cards and like messages, and it's just amazing. Like I just felt so lucky that I found these really good communities and like places that I love to work and people that like, oh my God, I don't know what I would have done without it. It was just amazing. And I still don't know what I would do without it.
Did you run across anyone who actually wasn't supportive or in some way perceived you differently after this, which would blow my mind to even think that that's possible, unless there's somebody who doesn't know you or a stranger. But did you notice anything on the flip side, like from a negative perspective? I'm just curious.
I mean, right off the top of my head, no, I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
I think that's nothing.
Good.
And if there is, who cares?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Because it's encouraging, I think, because any of this could happen to any of us at any time. I think of friends who have gotten in accidents in the ocean, diving in shallow water, car accidents.
Yeah.
I mean, it could happen to any of us at any time. And I think
literally, yeah.
Yeah, it's humbling for all of us to remember how fragile our mental health is and our physical health and abilities. So to learn from someone like you before something like that can happen is really important to know, like what challenges we might be facing. And then, we can empathize a little bit better with people who are dealing with that now. So it's good to learn from people like you. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think it's important to know that you matter. So like, you don't know who you're affecting, right? So like, did you expect the outcome, like the outpouring of support? Did you expect the people that came out to come out?
No.
Right? So like, I think it's important for anyone listening.
I mean, that people care about you, but
yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah,
you never know who you've touched in your life, like emotionally, and like who would come out to support you. It's kind of mind blowing.
You really don't know. Like, I didn't realize.
That's awesome. It's so crazy.
What about the time when you said you were with your sister during recovery when you were alone? I don't know if you're a natural introvert, extrovert. Obviously, too much seclusion is difficult for some time. But what are you more? Are you more introverted, more extroverted?
Well, luckily, I'm already more introverted, so being alone is like not super hard for me. But it was definitely a different kind of alone, like because I didn't have anyone to relate to. I didn't have like my places that I normally go, or even like to relieve stress, I do yoga. I didn't know how to relieve stress. I mean, so yeah, it was different kind of alone for sure.
So what did you end up?
But again, I was able to at least appreciate the space that I had because my whole life was changing. And this is a conversation I actually just had with my therapist. Like, we don't always take enough time to like process what's happening to us, or like we leave therapy and we go right into the next thing, or we go right to work. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're like shaking your head. Yes, you know exactly what I mean. So it was good, like, to have a lot of that space just to like sit with it and be okay or not okay or whatever. So
it goes back to our relationship conversations where people who get no, it's interesting. People who go from one relationship to another. I had someone tell me that recently. Anything that happens to us where there's a break from the norm, it is important to take time just to be just to feel it. Like, don't have to run from one distraction to another, or from pain from a recovery into something else that's distracting. Like, live with the pain, live with the discomfort, process the difficulty mentally that you're dealing with, and just kind of let it soak. Because when you do that, you kind of heal a little bit better to then go on and do your next relationship, next venture, next activity, or whatever. So it translates very well.
Yeah, so you're like fully prepared to move into the next thing, and versus like still carrying all this other stuff that you haven't sorted out yet.
Yeah, instead of delaying it, it's like, I mean, it's almost like with if someone has PTSD or something, where it's like, if you don't deal with that right after it happens, as soon as it happens, from what I've read, you're prolonging the solution, and then you're doing all this other stuff, and you're dragging this weight behind you, and it's affecting all the other things that you're doing too. So that's why I think it's really cool that you got into therapy quickly, you got into everything quickly after something like that happened, to start dealing with it, which is cool.
Yeah. Because we don't always know how we're going to feel after things, because you're kind of like numb, or it's just you're in shock. And I mean, it's a year later, and I feel like I'm just now like processing a lot of this stuff, So you don't always know, like, you think you're fine, like, oh, I don't need to see my therapist yet. I feel okay. But then all of a sudden it hits you, and then you're a little too behind. So you got to stay ahead of it.
Yeah. So you mentioned that about relieving stress, and you couldn't do the yoga. What were some of the things you did turn to during that time to relieve stress? Reading, or like anything like that? Meditation?
I did a lot more meditation. I mean, I already had a meditation practice, so I did a lot more of that. I started learning Spanish on Duolingo.
Hey,
I started drawing. I used to draw a lot when I was younger. What else?
Did you publish anything?
Okay, I have this time. I need to figure out other things. No. No.
One of your drawings on Instagram? No.
No, maybe yeah. No, not yet. Maybe sometime in the future if we get there. We'll see.
So
I'll let you guys know first.
So during this recovery, like, what are some of the goals you've been setting for yourself to like attain mentally and physically?
So that's a good question. I was just about to say, I mean, the number one thing I think is trying to have like grace with myself every day and allow myself to be flexible in what I need. Another goal is to just really try to cut out all the noise and just listen to myself right now, which is like saying no to a lot of things and that kind of thing. My goal is just to take really, really good care of myself. Just drink a lot of water, eat really good food, like give myself basically the best possible chance to recover. Like, that's what's most important. So going to the gym, like working out with a personal trainer, just getting a lot of sleep. Just taking really, really, really good care of myself is the main goal, and just like anything that supports that.
Do your relationships at all help with that? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, I make my choices based off of like is this going to help me or hurt me? Is this going to heal me? And I just live my day like that.
Do your relationships help with any of that? Friendships, keeping in touch with family? Do you try to call people regularly and make sure, someone's always checking up on you? Obviously, therapy is part of it. Dating, any of that. Does that help, hurt? How do you incorporate people into your life to support you?
So this is the puzzle piece that I am not the greatest at, but working on, because I am an introvert and I tend to be able to just handle things by myself. And then I talk to like the very few people, like my therapist or whoever. But I think it's just realizing that that's how I am. And I do have a couple close friends that I'll say like last week I said to my friend, I really do need a lot of time to myself, but I'm worried you guys are going to forget about me. So I have people that I feel like I can be vulnerable and say this stuff with and still like ask for what I need from, which it changes everything. And you think you need all these people, but you only need a couple people that you can really like talk to like that.
Yeah, it's true.
You guys feel the same way?
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of acquaintances because I just love to like accumulate new people in my life. I don't know what there is about that, but there are definitely the few people that I'm going to go to every day or when I really need it, for sure. And I have to ask, we talk a lot about dating. Have you been doing any of that recently? Have you been swiping on Tinder? Have you just been talking to people? I'm just curious.
No, I'm like terrified.
Oh no!
Because, well, I mean, I thought about it, obviously, like how is that going to go after this injury? Because obviously it's different. And you feel differently about yourself. So it's super weird. I don't know. I think like, I want partnership. I know that for sure. And I know what I want. So I think I really just want to, like, I'm taking time for myself and I want to figure out exactly how to take care of myself stage, which is really hard to get to. And I think I'm finally there where I'm like, wait, I actually don't have time. But I mean, I think so. I might actually even be a little closed off to it without even realizing right now, but I want to get there eventually.
That's good. Reuben's smiling because Reuben's all about people taking time for themselves and taking space and all that. I'm like, yo, get out there, man. Go get it.
I think if you're not ready, like, it's okay.
I'm not swiping. Yeah.
Right. I think it's totally fine. I didn't date for 3 years because I had a very traumatic relationship when I was like 26.
Oh my gosh.
And so like it scarred me and I didn't realize it scarred me until I went kind of one from another.
Tried to date.
Yeah. And then like I dated a girl and like all of these insecurities came out and I was like, I need to take some time off. So whenever someone can realize that and like, take it, I'm like, you go, girl or guy. Like,
although I feel like COVID, the whole coronavirus year was a good preparation for anyone who wants to date remotely. So, I mean, if you want to meet people online and just talk to people for a little while, I know a lot of people who've said that on dating sites, like, I want to talk for a couple of months before actually meeting. And there's a lot of that. So I encourage if you ever get the desire to do that, definitely go for it. So anyway, I'll shut up about online dating and whatever. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. That just definitely seems exhausting to me right now.
Sure.
But if one day it doesn't feel exhausting, then I will get on there.
That's a good problem to have to be too busy. Yeah.
Can't be forced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. I force it a lot. And
exactly. I don't want to just force it. Like, why am I on there? Because I'm bored. Like, shouldn't I be knowing what I'm doing with my time? I don't know.
Yeah, that's really good. You're not as desperate as me. That's great. Really great. No.
It's funny. I was just talking to a friend today, and I was like, because I have been kind of seeing somebody, but like, I've been single for so long that it's kind of terrifying to think about being in a relationship. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's someone who's going to be there a lot, Reuben, and you like your alone time, but
you're going to love it. You're going to bake bread for your partner and massage their feet and take them to great restaurants and all that stuff. Yeah. Oh, what?
Super fun.
What is your favorite delivery food, service, and meal if you use it? Or do you you cook at home probably, right?
Well, the past few weeks I haven't because we've had construction, so it's been DoorDash like every single day. I probably get sushi the most.
Oh, what kind of sushi?
Yep.
Like raw rolls? What do you get?
Well, I'm a vegetarian, so I get really boring sushi like avocado rolls and cucumber rolls and sweet potato rolls. But sushi is not expensive for me, so I can get it like all the time and not feel bad.
So, Kari, one last question, and then we'll start to wrap it up. So, as someone who's been down at the beach forever, I am not a big beach person. I've never been a big beach person. Which beach are you at? First question.
I mean, I don't understand you, but fine.
Don't judge me. First question, which beach are you at? Second question, if I was going to visit that beach, what are some of the can't miss spots?
Okay, so I live in Lewis. It's really, they're all right next to each other. It's like as you're driving down from up north, you hit like Lewis, Rehoboth, Dewey. I feel like as I've grown older, I enjoy Lewis the most. Like I like going to Cape Henlopen, the state park, and any of the Lewis beaches. And the same for the restaurants. Like I would definitely go to Heirloom for sure. I like Agave down there.
I've heard great things about
American,
Agave.
Mexican,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, it's pretty good. They just opened a second restaurant in Rehoboth. Those are my top two for sure. Restaurant, and then as you get down into like Rehoboth, there's a whole bunch of restaurants. There's the Funland on Rehoboth. If you go to the boardwalk, you have to do Funland.
Yeah, okay.
It's like a little, like carnival. What else? I don't know. I think, and then Dogfish. You can always check out if Dogfish is doing something. They like to do a lot of cool stuff.
It's funny. I am so
Those
not
are
a
the
beach
biggest
person.
things for sure.
I'm so not a beach person that like I literally just had Thrasher's fries last year for the first time. For the first time in my life.
Wow.
Thrasher's fries. And let me tell you, this is a controversial opinion. Not worth the hype. I know.
Oh, no,
I'm going to get so much hate mail. I get it.
It's something to do.
It was like, whatever.
I
was like,
okay, you said it. You said what you said.
I did.
It's definitely something to do on the boardwalk, and the vinegar with the fries is really good.
Oh, it's a classic combo. It's just everyone hyped it up. And I'm like, oh, so these are just handcuffed fries.
Yeah.
I was like, there's nothing really special.
Yeah. You're like, okay.
And I'm paying $7 for like a freaking bucket. And it's like, is this really worth $7? It's probably cost you guys $2.
That's what's special about it.
And I'm a piece of garbage because I would dump ketchup all over it anyway, probably. But so,
oh my God.
mental health check?
Mental health check time.
Kari, we do this thing called a mental health check, which is a little bit silly, but I think it's kind of cool to be transparent about how we're feeling. So on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being like, I really need help right now, to 10 being, euphoric, I feel great about everything. We've gone between 5s to 8s to whatever. Where do you feel like you're at nowadays?
Well, last week was a little bit of a struggle. I was in like the 3s and 4s, I feel like. This week, though, we're up a little
thanks for being
higher,
honest.
Like 6s and 7s.
The thumbs up is thank you for being honest because, again, no, I know that sounds terrible. No, that's the whole point is to be honest about when people are really, really struggling because then other people will listen and see it and be like,
oh, man.
Oh, I feel that way too. What is she doing? How is she getting help or whatever? So, okay, thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome.
That's good. Sorry for the. Oh my God, I'm so awkward. I'm good.
It was just really good timing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And the question really is for like kind of now because it does change week to week. How do you feel now?
Yeah. So this week I'm like 6 and 7-ish. So
okay,
it's we're
thumbs
up, so
down
that's good.
for improving. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Just kidding. I'll say I've been holding steady about at 8. I've been staying pretty busy. Yep, feeling good. That's all I'll share for now. Reuben, how about you?
Yeah, definitely better than last week. I was at a 6 last week. And the work situation hasn't changed too much, but I'm a little bit more at peace with the work stuff. So I'm probably like at a 7.3. Let's say that. That's really accurate, but 7.3 is very specific. But I will
7.315.
Yeah. I'm like Dave Portnoy, except with mental health.
And we want to bring Greg Aloise into this because Greg has been doing a crazy amount of work yesterday and today to get this remote session up, which is extremely difficult to have the high level of fidelity quality that we have and do video. So, Greg, what's your mental health check? I know it's probably in the crapper right about now because of all this.
Yeah, it was like an 8 before we started. Now it's like about a 6.
It's all right, Greg. It's still going to look and sound great. I know you. So...
Yes, it does. And Kari, you look and sound amazing. Thank you for joining us today and inspiring people who are listening, inspiring people who are struggling.
If someone wants to follow your journey, where can they find you?
I guess mostly on Instagram. I'm not super consistent, but it's at Cool Vibes, so k.oolvibes on Instagram. And my GoFundMe, of course, which is on my Instagram.
We will post that if you would like us to, and we'll promote that. Yep. Okay, that's all we're saying.
Cool.
And then you can find.
Great.
Thank you. It's a.
I was like, where are you going?
No, I was just saying that we're going to put that on there. And then, so for everyone listening again, Kari, thank you so much. You can find Guys Who Cry on Instagram at Guys Who Cry Official, as well as our Facebook where we have links to everything, which is Guys Who Cry Podcast.
Yeah, we're on TikTok too, which we're not as active on, but
no, we are. It's just week to week.
Guys Who Cry Official 2396. Adam, you want to sign us off as you usually do?
Yeah, we're always posting new stuff. Oh, check out our YouTube. We're posting more links to our YouTube. Please subscribe. If we get 100 subscribers, we can pick our own URL, I think, or something. Yeah, there's definitely some benefits to that. So please subscribe. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Be inspired by Kari's story, and we'll see you next week. Be entertained.